What if everything you thought was stable suddenly wasn't? Before we continue, I'd like to ask you a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, could you take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel? Believe it or not, over 98% of viewers watch these videos without hitting that subscribe button. It's completely free, and it makes a massive difference, helping us bring you more of the content you love. What if, in a single moment, the foundations of political trust didn't just crack, but appeared to give way entirely? This is a story about pressure, about expectation, and about what can happen when those two forces collide at the very highest level of power. In modern British politics, few figures have risen with as much weight of expectation as Keir Starmer. When he stepped into leadership, he didn't just inherit a position, he inherited a moment. A moment shaped by public fatigue, by a desire for calm after chaos, and by a powerful demand for something simple but essential: trust. That word, trust, was not just part of the message. It was the message. For millions of voters, it represented a reset, a belief that politics could return to something steadier, more predictable, more grounded in accountability. And for a time, that belief held. But political systems are complex. They are not sustained by words alone. They are tested by decisions, by pressure, and by how leaders respond when things don't go as planned. And that is where this story begins to change. Because in any government, there are moments that never reach the public eye. Conversations behind closed doors, internal reports, early warnings, decisions made quietly, often with the intention of managing risk before it becomes visible. Most of the time, those moments remain contained, but sometimes they don't. Imagine a scenario where internal concerns begin to surface. Not dramatic at first, not explosive, but persistent. Questions about processes, about oversight, about whether everything is functioning exactly as it should. At first, these concerns might be handled internally, reviewed, discussed, managed. But then imagine something else happens. Information begins to move, not in a controlled, official way, but through fragments, through leaks, through conversations that were never meant to leave the room. And suddenly, what was once internal becomes public. This is where perception begins to shift, because when information emerges without clear explanation, it creates space. Space for interpretation, space for doubt, space for narratives that may or may not reflect the full picture. And in today's political environment, that space fills quickly. Now, it's important to be clear. Political controversies often involve layers of complexity. Early reports can be incomplete. Allegations require verification, and responsible analysis depends on distinguishing between confirmed facts and ongoing claims. But public perception doesn't always wait for that process to finish. It reacts, and once it reacts, the situation becomes much harder to control. In our scenario, questions begin to focus on accountability, not just what happened, but who knew and when. This is one of the most powerful questions in politics, because it goes directly to leadership. If concerns were raised, how were they handled? If information was available, how was it used?